चलते हैं, इसीलिए इसके बारे में बहुत राजनीति नहीं होनी चाहिए। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ जय हिंद जय भारत।
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for permitting me to take part in this debate. Sir, the way the motion has been structured for discussion under 193 clearly indicates the intention of the government and the direction in which it wants to take the debate. The situation in Ukraine is not self-made like we're seeing in Sri Lanka today, but the heart-rending situation is the result of the pouncing of the double-headed eagle on a small prey, sir. Sir, I take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks and gratitude to Ukraine and its neighboring countries of Romania, Hungary, Poland, Slovakia, Moldova, and others who have extended exceptional support to Operation Ganga in bringing Indians safely back home from war-stricken Ukraine. I also thank our Honourable Prime Minister for his guidance and Dr. S. Jaishankar-ji for his exceptional leadership in times of crisis. I also extend thanks to Sri Jyotiradittya Scindia ji, Sri Kiran Rijiju, Sri Hardeep Singh Puri, and General V.K. Malik, whose presence on the ground has made a big difference in coordinating the evacuation and helping the Indians stranded there. I'm sorry, V.K. Singh. My apologies, sir. Mr. V.K. Singh. Sir, Vladimir Putin's dream is becoming Ukraine's nightmare, and Putin's threat of interference by the West, particularly the US or its NATO member countries, and saying 4 times that Russia is a powerful nuclear state clearly indicates to what extent Russia could go if there is interference. The threat of chemical war is also of major concern, sir. Russia unfolded its hybrid war against the Ukraine. It includes cyber attacks on the Defense Ministry and 2 large Ukrainian banks, flared and intensified clashes between Russian-trained rebels from Luhansk and Donetsk and Ukrainian armed forces. Recognizing Donetsk and Luhansk, military exercises in Belarus, carefully choreographed communication surrounding the announced troop withdrawal are all part of the toolbox, and this narrative was mastered by Russia in the case of Ukraine, sir. Its economy has been battered, with Russia stopping oil ships passing through Ukraine and stopping gas supply through pipes, resulting in denial of transit charges to Ukraine, leading to a deep fall in the Ukraine currency, and now city after city in Ukraine are turning into rubble, sir. The hybrid warfare sows the seeds of uncertainty, which in turn frightens the potential investors, thereby further weakening Ukraine, sir. As per the latest reports, Russian forces have encircled Chernihiv, a city between Kiev and the Russian border. Mariupol, Kherson, Melitopol, Kharkiv, etc. are under total control of Russian forces. Russia is now planning to create a corridor between the Crimea and areas held by the Russian-backed separatist forces in Donetsk and Luhansk, up to northeastern part of Ukraine, for the reasons known to all of us, sir. But we must acknowledge what is happening today in Bucha is outrageous and inhuman, sir. Sir, the stand taken by India, be it at the UN Security Council or in Quad Foreign Ministers meeting at Melbourne in the second week of February, or during discussions with the UK's Foreign Minister, is welcome in my opinion, sir. I fully endorse and appreciate the Honourable External Affairs Minister's stand, which of course is the stand of India, that the group should focus on cooperation and collaboration rather than confrontation. It is true that confrontation can only escalate the situation, which is not good for any country, while cooperation and collaboration will help douse the conflict between Russia and Ukraine and ensure long-term peace and stability in the region. Sir, I agree that it is a tightrope walk for India between West and Russia. Sir, please, few more minutes, sir. I have some very important points to make. But this is what diplomacy is all about. So I suggest we take everything into consideration before making a statement. With pressure mounting from the West, led by the US, we have to make a very difficult strategic choice between principles and values on one side and pragmatism and interests on the other. Sir, I am apprehensive that Russia-China alliance and the East-West confrontation is narrowing down our diplomatic space, and at times I feel whether the time has come where we need to move closer to the US, and whether the Quad Summit in May this year is one such opportunity for India to do so. So I wish that Honourable Jaishankar-ji would throw some light on this as to where India is moving. Sir, right from Nehru to Modi, we have been adopting non-aligned approach. We have taken sides or worked closely with world powers only when national interest is involved. And the examples are 1962, 1971 wars. But at the same time, Indian diplomacy has passed through rough weather when the USSR invaded Hungary in 1956 and Czechoslovakia in 1968 or Afghanistan in 1978. But here, in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, I don't see any national interest involved, and hence the stand taken by the Honourable Prime Minister and the Government of India is welcome, sir. I am sure and confident that India will never kowtow to either the US or Russia or any other country for that matter. Sir, please, couple of more minutes. Sir, we were in a bipolar world after post-World War II. It moved into a unipolar world at the end of the Cold War. And now another change in the world order is taking place. Where are we going to stand at the end of this? Is it going to be another bipolar or tripolar world with China and Russia? Or will it be a multipolar world where India also will be its own pole? Is, I think, what we need to be looking for, sir. Sir, sir, I had a few points on the students. I'll skip to my... There's a few bullet points. Economic bullet points I think I should address, sir. Sir, more than 500 million of our exporters' payments are stuck in Russia due to sanctions. How are we handling this? Sir, Ukraine is the third largest producer and exporter of maize, which we need for our poultry sector. Ukraine and Russia are also top two exporters of sunflower oil, which we import. Along with sunflower oil, there's also the problem of getting soybean and palm oil from Indonesia since rates have skyrocketed. So what is the ministry going to do? What are the alternative arrangements to meet these demands? So Russia is also the second largest exporter of muriate of potash fertilizer, which we import. Out of 5.09 metric tons, 1/3 come from Belarus and Russia. Ukraine is also the largest supplier of urea to India. So how is government planning to address this? We're also importing crude oil from Russia, albeit less than 1%. But the petroleum minister has gone on record saying that it'll take time to fill this shortage. Also, sir, there are reports that India will import more oil from Russia and pay in rubles. Please kindly explain this. Exports from India like medicines, tea, etc. to Russia are impacted due to shipment concerns as war is blocking them and rerouting through Iran, which increases the cost. Sir, there's also a shortage of containers. So how government is planning for safe transport of our exports to Russia? Sir, I will conclude now, sir. Sir, I would not subscribe to the statement made by Mr. Biden that the stand of India is shaky. I would not subscribe because earlier America had conceded that India was an exception among its allies. So a carefully calibrated stand by New Delhi, I feel, has created a distinctive space for diplomacy by not only maintaining equidistance between the two powers, but moving towards a multipolar world.
Thank you, Chairman, sir.